How emotional capital beats algorithms at home. Wealth. The coffee had gone cold again. Another morning balancing the noise of the house and the quiet questions she kept avoiding. Can I really build something of my own? She had scrolled past another headline about AI changing everything. Another promise that automation would solve problems she didn't even have yet. But sitting there, laptop open between breakfast dishes and permission slips, she felt something the algorithms couldn't calculate. The weight of wanting more and the guilt of admitting it. She wasn't chasing millions, just freedom. The kind that fits between nap times and school pickups. The internet kept telling her that artificial intelligence was the future, that if she didn't learn prompt engineering or master the latest tools, she'd be left behind. But what they never mentioned was the part that actually mattered, the human part, the emotional intelligence that no machine could replicate. Part of her still felt guilty for wanting more, as if ambition had to disappear when motherhood began. She remembered the conversation with her sister. You're already doing so much, her sister had said, meaning well, but missing the point entirely. Doing much wasn't the same as building something, and building something didn't have to mean abandoning everything else. But the idea didn't come from a business book, it came from the mess on her kitchen table. There were coloring pages her daughter had abandoned, a half-written grocery list, notes from a parenting group where another mom had asked for help finding educational content that actually engaged kids, simple human needs, real problems, the kind that required understanding, not just data processing. She had been so focused on learning what AI could do that she'd forgotten what it couldn't, feel what people actually needed. Maybe success just wasn't meant for someone like her. That thought had visited before, usually around 3 in the morning when the house was finally quiet and her mind wasn't. But this time, she pushed back against it. Not with affirmations or motivational quotes, but with a simple question: what if the future wasn't about competing with technology, but about using it to amplify what made her human? What would you have done in her place? She started small, a spreadsheet of ideas that emerged from real conversations, things other parents struggled with, questions that kept appearing in online groups, problems that required empathy to even recognize. She didn't need venture capital. She needed clarity about where human connection still mattered most. According to recent studies, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments, proof that clarity often beats capital. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. The real shift was happening in the invisible spaces where automation couldn't reach. In personalized coaching, in community building, in creating content that felt less like marketing and more like conversation between friends who understood each other's lives. She smiled, not because it was easy, but because it was finally hers. Her first attempt was clumsy. She used AI to help write educational content for busy parents, but the initial drafts felt hollow, too polished, too generic. They had information but no soul. So she did what the algorithms couldn't. She rewrote everything through the lens of her actual experience, the frustration of finding activities that worked, the relief of discovering a method that finally clicked. Then came the doubt, the kind that whispers louder than failure. 3 weeks in, she had created content but no audience. The algorithms that promised to connect her with her ideal customers seemed to favor accounts with thousands of followers, polished branding, budgets for ads. She was competing with established businesses and influencers who had teams behind them. She almost gave up until one message changed everything. A mother she'd never met had found one of her posts buried deep in a parenting forum. "This is exactly what I needed," the message read, "not another expert talking at me, but someone who gets it." 7 words that mattered more than 7,000 followers. That's when she understood. The algorithm economy ran on scale and speed. The emotional economy ran on depth and trust. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress, it looks like staying. Instead of trying to reach everyone, she focused on genuinely helping the few people who found her. She answered questions thoroughly. She created resources based on real feedback, not keyword research. She built relationships instead of metrics. And slowly, something shifted. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter, but it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. The AI tools became her assistants, not her replacement. She used them to handle the repetitive parts, formatting documents, organizing information, creating first drafts. But the final touch, the emotional resonance, the ability to anticipate what a tired parent actually needed to hear at the end of a long day, that came from her. She started noticing patterns that no algorithm had flagged. Parents didn't just want solutions, they wanted validation that their struggles were normal. They didn't need more content, they needed better curation from someone who understood their context. They weren't searching for perfection, they were searching for permission to do things imperfectly. What part of this resonates with your own journey? She built her business around these invisible needs. Digital products that solved real problems. Templates that saved time without sacrificing personalization. Guides written in the voice of someone who'd actually been there, not someone who'd researched there. The revenue started modest. $50 one month. $200 the next. But it wasn't the amounts that mattered most, it was what they represented. Proof that emotional intelligence still had market value. Evidence that you didn't need to become a tech expert to benefit from technology. Other mothers started asking her how she did it. Not the technical how, the emotional how. How she found the courage to start. How she dealt with the guilt. How she balanced building something new while honoring everything she already was. Then came the realization that changed her entire approach. She had been thinking about AI as a competitor when it was actually a filter. The more automated and impersonal business became, the more valuable genuine human connection grew. Every chatbot that couldn't understand context made her personalized approach more precious. Every generic template made her customized solutions more relevant. The businesses thriving weren't the ones using the most advanced technology. They were the ones using technology to scale their humanity, not replace it. She thought about the skills she'd undervalued. Active listening, empathy, the ability to read between the lines of what someone was actually asking. These weren't outdated. In an AI world, they were increasingly rare, which made them increasingly valuable. Her second coffee was still warm. A small victory that felt symbolic of something larger. She had developed a process. Not a formula. Formulas were for algorithms, but a rhythm. She'd spend mornings creating content that felt true. Afternoons connecting with her small but growing community. Evenings using AI tools to handle logistics and organization. The technology served her vision, not the other way around. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. The opportunities she discovered weren't the ones being hyped in business podcasts. They were quieter, more specific. Consultation services for parents navigating educational choices, curated resource libraries that saved hours of research. Community spaces where people could ask questions without judgment. She learned that wealth at home wasn't just about income, it was about autonomy. The ability to contribute financially while still being present for the moments that mattered. To build something sustainable without sacrificing what made life worth sustaining. What helped me the most wasn't just discovering productivity tools, it was realizing that I didn't need permission to start small. I tested a few different approaches before finding what truly worked, and honestly, it changed everything. This isn't a promotion, just something that made my path a little lighter. I'll leave some resources below if you want to explore them. The transformation wasn't dramatic, there was no viral moment or sudden breakthrough, just steady progress built on genuine value. Parents recommended her to other parents. Her reputation grew through trust, not tactics. She made mistakes and adjusted. She learned and improved. She stayed human in a space increasingly dominated by automation. The numbers told one story: modest but growing revenue, manageable workload, sustainable pace. But the messages told another. Thank you notes from mothers who felt seen. Testimonials from parents who finally found resources that worked. Stories of others who had started their own small ventures after seeing hers. She realized she wasn't just building a business, she was modeling possibility. Not the kind sold in expensive courses, promising 6 figures in 6 months, but the real kind. The kind that acknowledged the complexity of wanting both financial independence and family presence. The kind that proved you didn't need to choose between being a good mother and being an ambitious person. Her daughter walked in, curious about what mom was always working on. And instead of feeling guilty, she felt proud. Proud to show her that women could create, that mothers could build. That ambition didn't have an age limit or an expiration date. The emotional capital she'd accumulated, years of understanding what parents actually needed, months of building genuine relationships, hours of learning to communicate with clarity and care, had become her competitive advantage in a world obsessed with technical capital. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot, because this time, she wasn't rushing. She was building something that fit her life instead of forcing her life to fit someone else's blueprint. Building wealth that measured more than bank balances, though those were growing too. Building a model that other mothers could adapt and make their own. The algorithm economy would keep evolving. New tools would emerge. Trends would shift. But the fundamental human need for connection, understanding, and genuine help would remain constant. And in that constant, she had found her variable, the part she could control, refine, and scale without losing what made it valuable. Tell us what part of her story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.